All right, Jesse on fire. Welcome back. So I have a big scoop when it comes to this Mr. Beast story. I had not been following this super closely, but as the more information came out about an additional predator that had been on the team, and I saw that today, I started doing much more research into the situation. Now, the most important thing in this entire story from a business perspective is the Amazon deal. Amazon gave the Mr. Beast team a 9-figure contract, one of the biggest production deals ever for a show like this. And Mr. Beast and his team had contractually guaranteed creative control over the entire show, top to bottom, total creative control. And what I am going to tell you guys in this video that no one publicly knows yet is that that is not the case anymore. Amazon has wrestled creative control away from the Mr. Beast team. And I will tell you exactly why that happened. I'll tell you how it happened, because it is obviously the result of multiple things going sideways on the set that I just learned about today. I can't tell you the name of my source. What I can tell you is that I have a lot of experience in reality television. Well, it depends on what a lot is. I know people in very high places in the reality television production space, and my source is bulletproof, absolutely bulletproof. I'll give you that story right out of the gate because I'm sure that's probably what I'm going to title it. I don't want to make everybody wait. But then afterwards, if you are new to the recent developments, I'm going to show you some other stuff because in this particular video right here, this is a guy who formerly worked at Mr. Beast's company. I find him challenging to deal with in terms of listening to how he views the world. However, he did reveal the fact that there was a predator who had been convicted of assault, like the all the way assault on a child, age 1 to 11. So you don't know exactly where the guy land or where the victim lands, but it's 11 years old or under. And this person was working for Mr. Beast's outfit, and they knew. Well, I mean, I think it's fair to say that they knew because the guy, every time he was on camera, was wearing a mask. Why would you do that? You know what I mean? Why would you mask someone? It's not a thing that they do. This one guy is always wearing a mask. Why? And he happens to be a child rapist. You know what I mean? So we're going to go through that story. And then also Mr. Beast's ex-girlfriend has now come out with some shocking allegations. And if you, I don't know, if you are new to my channel and you're looking for a fair and balanced approach to analyzing these situations, I think you'll be very happy with what you see here, because I am going to be very hard on them for some things, and I'm going to be very hard on the accuser in another. And, you know, so it just is what it is. I look at each individual part of these stories on its own. You know, and in the spirit of the Mr. Beast show, I want to tell you guys a super quick story just to kind of set the tone for how I know as much as I do in the reality TV space. So there was a time when I was going through a casino in Las Vegas, and a person that I was with was looking to do a TikTok reel, and they had $15,000 that they wanted to hand out to 4 lucky contestants. And the math is a little bit weird on that, obviously. I don't know why you didn't do 16,000 or whatever, you know, like the multiples are weird. So we were going through the casino. The first person that he approached, I stopped him and I was like, hang on for 1 second. Go into your YouTube. And the guy's like, all right. And I went and looked. The guy was subscribed to my channel, and I made him give him the entire $15,000 because that's how we do it here. You want to be a subscriber here because you might get $15,000 at a casino. That's a completely made up story. However, it is directly in line with how Mr. Beast, you know, drives it. So I figured I would just make up a story like that, you know? So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And, you know, that's what we'll do. I do appreciate it, though, very much. Go ahead and like the video as well. All right, so let's jump into this story, and I'll tell you how we know about what we know. All right, so this story here, covered by Business Insider, actually sets the tone perfectly, and then I'll take their broad strokes, and then I'll paint in some details. All right, so Amazon Beast Games show with YouTube Mr. Beast has faced safety concerns and negative press. Accurate. Especially this part, safety concerns. The show, announced in March, was meant to boost Amazon's video ad sales with a $5 million prize. You know, it was a $100 million deal as far as I understand it. Amazon insiders say the show was risky from the start with the streamer ceding control to Mr. Beast's team. You know, it's funny, when I talk to my guy, when I talk to my guy or girl, right? You don't know. Look at him protecting his sources like such a boss. I had not read this article. And so when I looked this up, it's like this verified so much of what he told me. And then I can now, like I said, I mean, I know a lot more than what's in here, but this is a good place to start. So Amazon's upcoming reality show with YouTube's biggest star, Jimmy Donaldson, was supposed to be a bold bet on the future of TV, but it's begun to turn into a massive headache for the tech giant. I'm just going to skip through and scan this. Okay. We're really excited to work with Jimmy, yada, yada, yada. But now a PR catastrophe around the show and a broader reckoning around Donaldson has raised questions about the show's advertising prospects and launch date. So two Amazon insiders said that the show faced risks from the start, with Amazon agreeing to give Donaldson control over the show's creative as well as approval over ad sponsors as part of its effort to land the deal during a competitive bidding process. Okay, I did not realize they had approval over ad sponsors. Why on earth would you sign that over? That makes no sense, Amazon. I mean, Mr. Beast must have had a feeding frenzy in terms of offers from networks then. Because, like, what are you talking about? Like, you're going to give him $100 million to do this show, and then when companies want to give you money so you can recoup your investment, Mr. Beast gets to decide, like, nah, I don't think we're going to, no, I don't like it. Like, some company comes in there, oh, listen, we want to give you $80 million to run 3 ads. You know, they're like, that's the worst deal in history for you. And they're like, I know, we just really want to do it though. And Mr. Beast could just come in and be like, no, we decided not to let you do that, Amazon. That's so dumb. Why on earth would you do that? That makes no sense. Okay, so they said we really need a hit, so they just let him do whatever. And Amazon insider said, insider spoke with business, yada, yada, yada. They spoke under anonymity. Everybody wants to talk anonymous. That's for sure. So it was supposed to kickstart Amazon's video ad sales efforts with a show that was expected to attract a wide audience and advertiser appeal. Now, I'll pause there super quick just to say that if you're wondering why, I always hear people say like, oh, Mr. Beast is given favoritism on YouTube. And it's like, yeah, of course. You think that Mr. Beast is just on like the regular algorithm like everybody else and he does 300 million views? That's not how that works, man. He is for sure hand-selected, anointed, and he is a featured show. Like, YouTube is an open platform that anybody can post their stuff on, and the algorithm will help you get seen. But if you think that's like the only thing going on, I don't think you understand where this platform is. Look at this right here, okay? YouTube has a 9.9% market share of streaming. Netflix has 8.4%. YouTube has a higher, not a small margin either. You know, they've got a higher market share in streaming than Netflix does. So of course they're going to have, shows that they, give more visibility to because they can go sell huge ad deals to their advertisers on Mr. Beast's show because it's hits a wide audience. There's nothing really controversial about it. It's, well, at least there wasn't. There wasn't, at least before, And then listen, I want to be very clear. I don't take any, this doesn't make me happy to see, challenges befall anyone involved in this story. It's just, Okay, so let's just get right down to that basically sets the tone, okay? Now, whatever the cause, negative press attention couldn't have helped the show's advertising prospects. The first Amazon insider said the streamer had been close to closing deals, but that chatter within the company was that the controversy had been hampering in negotiations. Saw that coming. It's going to be a mess, the person said. A second Amazon insider said producers were already talking about making a Fyre Fest-like documentary about Beast games. Okay, that is not good right there. If you don't understand what Fyre Fest is, it was the most famous and catastrophic bust of an event in human history where a single guy, people they paint Fyre Fest like it was a scam. It wasn't a scam. It was a big dreamer who got way over his skis and just would not listen to logic. Like, he's like, no, it's just all going to work out. I know we promised him private jets and Beyonce giving him lap dances, but I think a sandwich with a pickle inside of it and a tent will do. Anyway, okay, so typically a complicated reality show like Beast Games would go through. This is exactly what we're talking about right here. Okay, this is where we're getting into the meat here. Typically, a complicated reality show like Beast Games would go through careful legal vetting to identify and manage inherent risks, something Amazon's own reality show experts who work on Shark Tank and Survivor would know. All you do is go through the worst case scenarios and work backwards from there, okay? In this case, Mr. Beast team was in control, not Amazon. And with the show in production and a lot of money on the line, Puck previously reported that Amazon had paid nearly $100 million for the show. It's hard to imagine Beast Games getting canceled, but Mike Hopkins, Senior Vice President of Prime Video and Amazon MGM Studios, is all over the situation to Amazon. One added there had been discussions of pushing the as yet announced launch date to distance it from the PR fiasco. You should for sure do that. Amazon, if you see this video, 1000%, you should definitely do that. Because this will blow over eventually. As soon as people stop coming out and doing videos about this, that, or the other, I expect this to blow over, assuming that the show ends up being good. Now, here's the incident that led to the change in creative control, or at least one of them. All right. So, positive sentiment around the show was thrown into serious question when the New York Times dropped a bombshell report in early August that centered on safety concerns around the production of Beast Games. The Times reported that over a dozen people who participated in the show's first installment said they did not get enough food or medical care, and some competitors were injured as a result of the physical challenges. Donaldson's camp, that's Jimmy, Mr. Beast, which was rep by crisis PR pro Matthew Hillstick, said only a handful of people were injured and blamed a lot of execution problems on the local staff in Vegas hired to handle shooting of the show. See, here's the thing, dude. If you are the production team and you get total control over every aspect of production, then this is right here this is what you call, like, he's a crisis PR pro. This is the best you can do with an absolutely catastrophic situation, right? Listen, only a handful of people got injured. So you're still saying, okay, so they said a bunch of people got injured and you say only a handful. What does that mean? How many is that? Okay. Because you want to know what PR is very similar to? Titling and describing and clickbaiting videos that you do on YouTube. I understand this game real well. I understood PR before also, but I'm just saying a handful is non-specific. That doesn't mean all you know here is that more than two, right? More than two, almost certainly more than three, or they would have said three. People got injured on the set. So this is real that this did happen. Obviously. I mean, I already knew this anyway, but that's his spinning, that it's not that bad. And then blame the problems on local staff in Vegas hired to handle shooting for the show. So those are contractors. It's not our team. Listen, we didn't realize that Vegas had such incompetent people, trying to work these shows. So the injuries are very important to the story, but let me take you back a step before this happened, okay? So what was going on, this is the inside story, is that it was absolute chaos on set for a specific reason, which is under normal circumstances, when you have a production team, and like they said about legal due diligence and planning and so on and so forth, you go through this long, very complex due diligence process when it comes to filming and producing these shows. And then once you've done that, you do not deviate from the plan. And what was happening on set was Mr. Beast and somebody named Tyler, who's I'm not sure who that is or what their role is, but they kept coming in and they would just go, nah, I don't like it. Nope, I don't like that. And they were changing things on the fly in this massive obviously multi-million, but this huge production. And it was making everybody crazy. It was turning everything into chaos. They couldn't manage it. It was making it dangerous. And then ultimately, people got hurt. Right? So once people got hurt, and with all this, everything that's been going on, now Amazon, I do not know whether, I don't understand, I'm sorry, I just don't have the information of exactly how this happened or whether they changed the contract or if there's some clause that they exercised or whatever, but Amazon took away creative control from Mr. Beast and their team, and they brought in longtime professional reality television producers and showrunners. And so now they don't have the ability to come in and give any kind of input that's going to change anything. They are in the backseat, and the pros have come in to produce a show. Probably end up being a better show as a result of it, but that is what happened. And this is also all coming on the heels of these terrible, stories that are coming out. I mean, listen, again, let me actually take that back. Some of the stories are terrible. The one that we're going to talk about with the child predator, that's a terrible story, man. I'm sorry. Like I've been trying to be easy on Mr. Beast. I don't like feeling like I'm dogpiling on people unless they deserve it. Like people like Diddy, Jesus, man, get me a weighted jacket that I can wear while I dogpile on that guy. If they're a really bad actor, I'll dogpile him. But if it's someone who, in my opinion, is taking a lot of flack, mostly because they are very successful and a bunch of creators want to take him down a peg, I don't like feeling like I'm contributing to that. But again, I'm not going to give somebody a pass if they are acting irresponsibly and then they injure people on the show. And then it turns out that they've hired child predators who assaulted someone younger than my oldest daughter. Definitely going to call them out for that. So we're going to go through those two stories, but I'm not sure if anything can be more damaging to the prospects of the show than the proximity that the launch date has to these stories. Like, they got to let it die down, even if it takes a year, man. Because his show's not going anywhere on YouTube. They just need to let everything chill, and this will be a scandal that ultimately blows over, in my opinion. But let's start here, actually, with the story about his ex-girlfriend coming out. Because if you're going to come out and you're going to make accusations at a man as his former female counter, his partner, his girlfriend, wife, whatever, you better be. It better be something serious if you're going to imply that it was something serious. And when I hear someone very vaguely give nonsensical, just surface level stuff, and I'm like, what are they trying to, and it's obvious given the timing that they are trying to get attention and they're obviously trying to kick somebody while they're down. Okay. You better be specific with what you're accusing him of. And let's look at how specific she was.
It's about him. Firstly, on her Instagram, she said, at YouTube, you need to reevaluate who you're putting on the trending page. And then
so right out of the gate, she's attacking his livelihood. Right out of the gate, she tagged YouTube. Right? So just keep
put out this huge Instagram post. I've spent years being quiet, never acknowledging that time in my life, just quietly cheering on those who I saw mistreated.
Non-specific. Remember, handful, not specific, mistreated. How? What does that mean?
I don't want drama. I don't want anything. I just want to speak up for my 19-year-old self.
Okay, so you don't want anything, then why did you tag YouTube in your original post? You're not after anything. You're not being vindictive. You're after nothing. So why didn't you what does YouTube have to do with your speaking up for your 19-year-old self? Why would you tag them in the post? Because you don't want anything. You just want to, get this off your chest.
19 to 21 are formative years, and as a young woman, it impacted the way I saw myself, the way I interpreted my future, and how I trusted men.
Okay.
There was no user manual.
Again, very non-specific. That doesn't mean anything. All this means is that it didn't work out the way that she hoped, right? Like, I'm just saying what she's saying. I'm not willing to infer what she's implying because she's not actually saying that. And I think she's very specifically, intentionally being vague, because I bet what actually happened is Mr. Beast probably didn't have enough time for her and she felt like he didn't care about her and he was mean about things.
There's no instructions on how to deal with gaining a following quickly, no cheat sheet on dating someone famous. I did the best I could, but I was not okay. Months of therapy, so many journal entries, long talks with my mum. Why do I still feel like it was all for nothing?
Because you are part of the new generation of victim culture crybabies. Again, listen, if Mr. Beast actually victimized this girl, I have 3 daughters, okay? Like, I take that very seriously, which is why I'm going to hammer them in the next section. But just because you went to therapy and said, he was mean to me, and you did a bunch of journals and you had long talks with your mom, why do I still feel like it was all for nothing? Like, what are you looking to get? Life is not about what you think it's about. You work hard, you accomplish goals if you set them. If you don't set any goals, then what do you have to work towards? You're just going to float around and you're going to do these posts talking about how the world owes you this or that. It doesn't. Okay?
I believe I should be used as a cautionary tale. If something is too good to be true, it probably is. How he treats other women will ultimately be how he treats you. You are smart, beautiful, and capable of a career, life, and relationship you're proud of.
Okay, so that also says nothing. Okay? You should be a cautionary tale. Why? If something's too good to be true, it probably is. Okay, so like, you mean it was awesome when he was super famous and he still wanted to be together with you and that didn't work out. How he treats other women will ultimately be how he treats you. That does not say anything. That's just like, it's a fortune cookie. Are you saying he treated someone else bad? Because that's not what you said. You are smart, beautiful, and capable of a career, life, and relationship you are proud of. That sounds like she's talking to herself. And something that her therapist tells her to do self-affirmations. And it sounds like she's not happy yet with her career because it sounds like she's trying to talk herself into that she deserves that.
I do not aim to take anyone down, just
Bullshit. Why'd you tag YouTube then? Right? Why did you tag his employer if you don't aim to take anyone down?
simply and explicitly tell you that there are scary people out there. People will hurt you, use you, spit you out, and then tell you it's your fault.
Okay. So again, explicitly tell me that there are scary people out there. Cool. Yeah, I know. Are you saying that Mr. Beast is scary? Is that like that's what we're pretending, right? And they'll hurt you and use you and spit you out. Okay, so are you saying that Mr. Beast actually physically hurt you? Are you saying that he hurt your feelings? Or are you just saying like things like, hey, there are people that'll hurt you? And you're like, yeah, I know. No, I know. But they're like, they'll spit you out and then tell you it's your fault. I'm like, no, they won't do that. I mean, maybe they'll do that to you, but no, I'm just kidding. But really, it's like, what are you talking about? Like, what does this mean? This means nothing.
It's all our jobs to protect our friends, our mums, our wives, our sisters, our daughters, ourselves from people like that. If you see something not cool, speak.
Again, this is a very obvious, like, vindictive ex-girlfriend post. Like, oh my God, Mr. Beast is going down. I can get in on this. This is so obvious to me. It's embarrassing. Like, it's all of our jobs to protect our friends, our moms, our wives, our sisters, our daughters, ourselves from people like that. Like what? And you've made no direct accusations at Mr. Beast at all. Then people ask her to be specific, and let's see how she handles that.
So some very strong language about Jimmy in this post. I'm confident enough. I mean, you read it. It's definitely about him. Calling him a scary person and that,
Kavos, I like your stuff, dude. I like how you hammer people, but like you can hammer people on the other side of a story also. You know that this chick is full of shit, right? You know that, dude. You're a smart kid. There's no way that you actually think that this is a serious accusation versus this is just someone obviously trying to grab attention.
They will hurt you, use you, treat you poorly. It is vague and there's not enough detail into what has actually occurred or if there's any truth to it, but it's pretty crazy. On top of everything, now we're getting this. She then posted on Twitter saying 3 years away.
I'll read that for you guys because this is so stupid and egregious to me. 3 years away from that weirdo. So non-specific, but definitely talking about Mr. Beast. My skin is clear. What does that mean? My relationship and friendships are flourishing. I'm frolicking in a field. Who cares? You think Mr. Beast is worried about what you're doing? It's been 3 years. Like you're only what, like 20? She's like, what did she say? She's like 24 years old. 3 years is a long time for a 24-year-old. Get over it. I'm flourishing. I'm frolicking in the field. Hey, what's Mr. Beast doing, dude? He has the biggest show in history. She's so vague. She said nothing. That's exactly what you did. And she said, from the looks of it, I don't need to, heart. Not putting myself through that shit again, but thanks. Oh, really? You're not going to so, hey, can you be specific about what you're saying? No, I'm not going to put myself through all that. You're like, you literally just came out, tagged YouTube, his employer, and then wrote this long drawn out, we need to protect our wives and our daughters and our moms and our sisters and our friends from scary people. Are you saying that Mr. Beast is a predator that you need to be protected by? So I'm not getting into all that. Get the fuck out of here, okay? This shit I can't stand. I just can't. Now, let's go over to this side, though, where we talk about Mr. Beast having a predator on staff, which is way more, this is serious.
Careful about his image. The tangible proof that he knew but covered it up. How do you prove that, Well, there was a known sex offender, registered sex offender, convicted sex offender on the registry and everything who worked there. And you can, someone pees in public, you're on the registry. You know, you get it.
One small note here is that this guy who's giving this interview, his dad's in prison as a child predator. Just, I only bring it up, and like there seem to be a lot of people who are into kids in this vicinity, which is very weird. It's a huge company, Mr. Beast. I don't know. I don't. He seems like somebody who got a lot of power. Maybe was acting irresponsibly, but like all these things ancillarily are not super convincing to me that he's like a bad guy at all. Or even that there's anything to be super concerned about long-term here at all. I don't hear any of that. And like I said, dude, I'll hammer Diddy, dude. Or any of these guys. But I don't know, dude, you know.
You can still have a job after you're on the, that's one thing. You know, you go to prison, you get rehabilitated, that's one thing. You know, like if you do your time, that's fine. I think there should be rehabilitation in this country. But that guy, from what I hear, I can't confirm or deny, from what I hear, he's on the registry for doing some not great stuff to some underage people. And then
Yeah, in case you missed that, the victim's age was 1 to 11. Now, I don't know about you guys, and I know that these guys at Mr. Beast who probably made this decision back in 2017 don't have kids. So, if I know for a fact that someone in my vicinity, you know, penetrated a 10-year-old girl on purpose, planned it out, went and did that, like, at this stage of my life, I'm going to leave because I owe my number one responsibility to protecting my family. And if I'm near a person and I know that, I am not a good bet to make good decisions. And basically my entire goal since I initially started training martial arts was to leverage that skill set to not end up in prison, you know, not end up in prison. And being around a person like that is not a good way to, you know, promote that goal. So the idea of hiring a person that did a thing like that is unfathomable to me unless it was a cover story for me to put him in one of these challenges and then not accidentally poison them to death.
Do that. He's working at a channel that has underage people on and around and is targeted to underage people. And they covered up the fact that not only did he work there, but he was like the manager when it all started. And you know that he knew, and because he'll be in videos, he'll be in thumbnails, he'll be around, and whenever he is, he's wearing a mask. Why would you wear a mask? Why would you conceal your face? It's like, what are you concealing? That you are a registered sex offender? And that your face could be looked up on a thing? How much more can you literally cover up a sex offender? With a physical mask. Like,
he's 100% right. Okay, so that's the story. Now, here's what I'm going to say about that, right? About that guy being involved is when you look at when it happened and you look at that guy, he looks like he's significantly older than Mr. Beast and those guys. And Mr. Beast was super young in 2017. I think he would have been like 19 years old. So if he's in the stage of the show development where they're trying to scale and get to a new, you know, kind of place of production value, so on and so forth, this guy, if they say he was a manager, he could have come in with a lot of experience in production before that. And these guys might not even know what his history is. They might not know. And that guy is the one who's choosing to put on a mask because he's trying to keep that secret. Actually, that's the only way that I can give this any quarter at all. If they knew, I don't care if he's the most experienced person in the world and his track record for building 100 million subscriber YouTube channels is bulletproof 100%. He assaulted a child, dude. So, yeah. The only scenario I can give to where I can have any is only if they didn't know. Straight up, that's the only way. Anyway, that's enough for this video. I've been talking long enough. I love you guys. I will keep you posted as new information comes out.